It is time now for Better Books. Are you looking for something good to read this April?
Lori Fazio of R.J. Julia Booksellers is here with great reads for adults and the kids. I love it when we have this broad spectrum for everybody.
Yes, and it's National Poetry Month. It's Passover. It's Easter. It's spring. So
let's do
all
it.
kinds of good stuff.
Right. It's a nice thing, you know, where sometimes kids, we think of books and they're being driven to read so much in school, but it's nice to give as a gift for these holidays and make it just something fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be something they enjoy, not like, having to drag them down.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. How do you love a country?
Good segue.
Thank you.
So Richard Blanco. Richard Blanco was a poet laureate for
From
Obama.
here, from Connecticut.
Yes. And his poetry book, which is a new book.
Is that Doreen Fishman's friend?
Yes.
Oh, that's so
I've met him. He's very nice.
He is lovely. He really is. And I tell you, his story is something that it's amazing to listen to, but he's so funny about it too. The Cuba siding when he talks about his family roots and everything. And so he has some poems about that, coming into a country. He has poems about, touching things as well. He talks about, the Miami, the issues down there, the shooting in Orlando. But there's poems that's some way that people deal with things.
Absolutely. That would be a book I'd enjoy reading.
And he talked about just how his whole life changed when he was picked to be the poet for Obama's inauguration.
That's right.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
anyway.
incredible. What an honor.
Okay.
And then, so we've got Life Will Be the Death of Me,
okay,
which is Chelsea Handler, who is hilarious.
Yeah.
And as we know, she's very outspoken, which, she says it like it is. She went through a time frame where she actually saw a psychiatrist and really evaluated like her being and where she came from and childhood memories, et cetera, et cetera. And so she says, this is the time for me. I have a voice. I'm going to use it to talk about mental health.
Oh, good for her.
But she does it in her funny,
way,
direct way, which is nice. But it's also bringing it to the public eye, which I think is so important these days.
Yeah, that is so important.
Yeah, and very timely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
And then we have the White Elephant.
Right. So I had to bring a fiction book. So White Elephant is, as you know, we always talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So this is a book where, there's a neighborhood where all the houses are little cookie cutter houses. Everything looks exactly the same.
The one that
and
I grew up in.
Millionaire comes in and he knocks down his little cookie cutter house and he builds this multi-million-dollar house that stands out in the middle of the neighborhood.
Isn't that funny?
And it causes all sorts of controversy. And so there's funny things in it. There's like a Romeo and Juliet aspect to it. It's witty. It's, there's like the fighting of the neighbors, but in a delicate and funny way.
Okay, yeah, that's clever.
Yeah, it's really well done.
It sounds funny. Okay, and then there's next one. We have home run, touchdown, basket, goal. I think it's all covered. That sounds like a book for my son.
So I had to bring a poetry book for kids as well. And these we have lots of poetry books, obviously, but these are poems about sports. And there's boys and girls in there. There's football, there's ice skating, there's volleyball, there's badminton. So, and they're just fun little poems that kids could enjoy, and maybe it'll inspire them to write poems, for something they're interested in.
Absolutely.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah. And we also, just on that note, we also have a poetry contest that we do every April.
Oh.
And so kids can submit, and it's on our website, and they could, win some gift cards, and we have a slam at the end of the month, and
where they come and read their poems out loud? Yeah.
And both stores have it going on, so they can find it on either website.
How about this for a little poem? Roses are red, violets are blue. Pippa's Passover plate was written for maybe you.
Okay, yes, there you go.
That was a nice little poem there. See what I did there?
So on the fly. I do see that.
Thank you.
I see that.
So Pippa is this adorable little mouse just getting ready for Passover. She's cleaning her house.
I love my stories.
She is so cute, and then she goes out to gather a few last things, and she runs into a scary cat. And then she says, well, come and see what's on my plate, my Passover plate, my Seder plate. And then she runs into a snake, and she brings all of her little friends home for Passover with her. It's adorable.
Oh my God,
And
that's
does
really
it
cute.
explain why each thing is on the plate?
It does.
Oh, that's nice for kids to understand.
And on the last page, it has the whole plate, and it shows you where they are on the plate. And
that's
so it's
so
really
great.
interesting.
And the mouse doesn't get eaten.
No, she does
Okay,
not.
good. Pippa lives. I just want to.
I wouldn't bring a book like that.
I know.
It's for Passover. It's rebirth. Okay. All right. And the little rabbit.
And the little rabbit is, I had to bring something Easter as well.
Oh, look
and
at
so
that.
this is about imagination, and this little one is going out and has her stuffed rabbit in a basket, and then she looks down and the nose twitches and the ears wiggle, and she the rabbit comes to life and she follows the rabbit on this adventure, and the drawings are beautiful, and it's not we have Easter books. This isn't necessarily Easter,
right?
The story of Easter, but it was just a sweet book I had to read.
Here's a question. You know, when you get to those middle grades, everything's about chapter books.
Yes.
Is it still okay to give those ages a beautiful picture book?
Absolutely. I love picture books.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
So if you're buying a gift, you don't have to just go to a chapter book. You can get one of these for an older
That's
child
right.
too.
I just got one for my birthday, the history of Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, and the one that I think I talked about one recently here, which was I read it at a 4th grade story time, and it was the story of oh my gosh, now I can't think of her name, Hedy Lamarr.
Okay.
And it was a sophisticated picture book.
That's
and
great.
the 4th graders loved
it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they learned a lot about history and her.
So that's good to know. We can still give picture
You can
books at
definitely
any
get
age.
picture books.
Thanks, Lori. We always
Yeah.
appreciate your time. You're going to find these fantastic books and many more at R.J. Julia Booksellers on Boston Post Road in Madison. You can also find books online at rjjulia.com.
And there's also a Wesleyan R.J. Julia bookstore on Main Street in Middletown. So there's where you can do the poetry contest there as well. Check out wesleyanrjjulia.com to see what is available there.
All right.
Right now we're going